Chef with the shot, boy. Irving Magic Johnson. Who's the point guard GOAT? The debates, the questions. Is it really an answer? It's all subjective. This is why we do the show. ESPN, Undisputed, Skip Bayless and Fox Sports. We got a stumbling block in the way. There's a blocking sled called a contract with ESPN. What does the GOAT have to say about the greatest of all time at point guard? We'll learn about that. How about the benefits of doing a Roth conversion as we talk money in sports? This is Sports Bucks with Steve. I'm the retirement wealth coach. And once again, it's on. Let's talk about it. Sports Bucks with Steve.
Sports Bucks with Steve takes a deeper dive into the world of sports and the impact of money, fan debates, current sporting news, and offers financial tips. Coach Steve is a certified financial fiduciary and wealth coach who specializes in retirement income tax-free strategies for individuals and business owners throughout the country.
Once again, my friend, it is on. This is Sports Bucks. Once again, folks, we appreciate you for tuning in. We want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. Tax Doctor, helping out the country, helping out folks that are dealing with some tax issues. Check out Tax Doctor. We want to thank Fig Wealth Partners. The Super Roth. The Beneficiary Liquidity Plan. Veteran Card Donations. You can dance if you want to. And so much more. RX Heroes. My Virtual Docs. Sweeping the nation. Affordable healthcare plans. National PPO Network. And all the above. Sports Bucks. Listen, we're here today, another one. We appreciate everybody that's listening across the country. KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listeners behind. We also want to thank ESPN Charlotte, 730 The Game, and all the other stations now that are playing Sports Bucks across the nation. We so appreciate you. Once again, we appreciate the followers that's been subscribing to our YouTube show that is growing by leaps and bounds. We're so appreciative of that. But once again, this is Sports Bucks. The conversation today, I want to talk about real quickly, and this is regarding the apparent stumbling block with ESPN. And one of their key talents that they actually let go in one of their massive layoffs. There's an issue now, if you guys know of Skip Bayless and Undisputed. Well, Skip Bayless has obviously a show that has taken a hiatus because of Shannon Sharp, who has become sort of a cultural phenomenon in terms of his personality. You know, Uncle Sharp, as people call him, Uncle or Shay. You know, he gets on the show and, you know, he comes with all these props and all these different things. He came in one show, which is now a national meme, where he had his Scully cap on with, a cigar, what they call, I think, and a glass of Hennessy. and to talk about some sports, and that's sort of become a national meme. And Shannon has had some interesting takes, some really, really outspoken takes on certain subjects that I've respected from Shannon. We differ a great deal on his love affair with LeBron James, who is absolutely not the GOAT, but he has a right to his opinion, even though I think it's a little bit of an act towards it. But that's another story for another day. But ESPN has a stumbling block because apparently Skip Bayless, who's been trying to find a co-host to replace the very charismatic Shannon Sharpe, and so they had to go on an unexpected hiatus when Shannon Sharpe was terminated from his contract or released, however you want to put it. There is confirmation now that Shannon Sharpe has joined ESPN's First Take with Stephen A. Smith, where he'll discuss football on Mondays and Tuesday mornings when he'll appear on that show. I really believe Shannon has a bigger profile that he should have his own show, and maybe that's going to happen with ESPN, and maybe they'll take Uncle Shay, his club Shay, and make that an actual show, because it's a little more entertaining than what you've been seeing from First Take and some of the other shows that you watch on ESPN. I think Club Shay would be a very interesting show to watch on a national network, and the celebrities that he interviews. But Skip Bayless, I don't think he understood the magnitude of what Shannon Sharpe was bringing to his show, and so they had to take an unexpected hiatus. They're slated to return back on, I believe it's this Monday, August 28th, where he is now going to have a mix of guest hosts. Lil Wayne and him are friends, so he'll come on from time to time as a guest. But one of the big acquisitions is joining Skip Bayless is Richard Sherman, a former legendary Seattle Seahawks cornerback who won a Super Bowl with the Legion of Boom years ago when they defeated the Denver Broncos, which was led by Peyton Manning at the time. And him and Richard had a big sort of a on air where Richard Sherman questioned Skip's credentials, as Skip had been routinely questioning his credentials as a number one corner. And he said he's got a better career than what you have than what Skip Bayless has as a actual shock, so to speak. So apparently they, money matters, and they've made it up somehow. And so that should be an interesting mix to see Richard Sherman debate Skip Bayless. I think that will be something to maybe watch every once in a while. But one of the things that we recognize that we've learned in this is that there has been another gentleman that will be joining, is obviously legendary Dallas Cowboy icon and Hall of Famer Michael Irvin, the playmaker, is also going to be joining Undisputed, and former number one overall pick Keyshawn Johnson. Now, here's where the snag or the stumbling block has occurred. It's not with Michael Irvin. It's not with Richard Sherman. Obviously, it is with Keyshawn Johnson, the former number one overall pick for the New York Jets. He wore the famous number 19. Ended up winning a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they destroyed the Oakland Raiders, I believe at the time. It was either Oakland Raiders or the Los Angeles Raiders when they won that game. When John Gruden basically had inherited Tony Dungy's squad, and then he essentially knew the playbook, pretty much knew what the Oakland Raiders was doing because that was his former team. So in any event, Keyshawn Johnson, who was a co-host on the Daily Show, the KGM show, which is for Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max, which was featuring basketball analyst and former number one overall pick Jay Williams out of Duke University, former national champion, and anchor by Max Kellerman. And he was also featured regularly on Get Up and First Take, but he was one of more of a dozen on-screen talents who saw their employment terminated as part of the budget cuts with the revamped quote-unquote worldwide leader. Well, Keyshawn is now 51 years old and was reportedly in the second year of his contract of a 5-year contract with ESPN that was worth over $18 million. Well, here's the problem. Well, according to the New York Post, Keyshawn Johnson, who was laid off by the ESPN, but they haven't released him from his contract. So he can't work for Fox because you don't want him, but now you don't want somebody else to have him? That's crazy. So he's actually not a free agent. And so there has to be an agreement that's going to have to be reached with ESPN, and I'm assuming undisputed. I think that's a little bit crazy that somebody can be released from their job but not have the ability to go earn money somewhere else. I think you see that sometimes when people have what they call non-compete contracts, which doesn't allow you to be able to go and do the same thing in that industry if you're leaving a company, or if you have signed an agreement where you've maybe sold your business or something, so you have a non-compete agreement. I just think it's just, in this situation, it's just a little bit odd to me that has happened. But, this is the stumbling block. Keyshawn Johnson, does not have the keys for his own freedom in this situation to be able to work autonomously with whoever he so chooses, which is a little crazy. So are they going to pay the man the remaining of the contract? Are they going to ask Undisputed to chip in to pay the rest of the contract? That remains to be seen. But this is Sports Bucks. We're going to come back with the real meat and potatoes of the show. We want to talk about, so you have to stay tuned. Steph Curry with the shot. Chef Curry with the shot, boy. Or Irving Magic Johnson. Who is the greatest point guard of all time? Let's talk about it. But right after this commercial break.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less.
Call 800-268-1055. That's 800-268-1055. 800-268-1055.
You have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here is a great idea. Donate your car now and help local veterans in your area. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program, and within a few days we will come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car, in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised goes to help local veterans and their families, and you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now.
800-709-9174. 800-709-9174. 800-709-9174. That's 800-709-9174.
Are you looking for an affordable yet exceptional virtual healthcare solution for your workforce? Have you been thinking of a way to attract and keep a good team of employees? Well, your solution is here with My Virtual Docs. From virtual primary, urgent, and mental health care, a free and low-cost medicine formulary, and even pet care, My Virtual Docs has got everyone in the household covered. My Virtual Docs allows employers to provide employees and their families with convenient access to the care they need, on demand without having to miss valuable work time. Our strong network of providers and pharmacies means patients have unlimited access to their providers virtually with no copay, anywhere they can get online and have their medicines delivered right to their doorstep. By simply logging into their portal, patients can make appointments, visit with doctors, fill prescriptions, and more. And it keeps getting better. With the use of our smart app, Burn, your employees will be inspired to earn dollars while they burn calories. Who wouldn't want to get paid to go for a walk? Here at My Virtual Docs, we're committed to helping employers help employees and their families achieve optimal health and wellness with exceptional care at an affordable price. Visit myvirtualdocs.com for more details.
Back once again, Sports Bucks. Don't forget myvirtualdocs.com, myvirtualdocs.com for all of your healthcare needs. Go to myvirtualdocs.com, National PPO Network, unlimited virtual mental health visits for the entire family with no copays, guys. A free pharmacy to members, which gives you 600 medications, including one of the best diabetes programs in the country. So free, your initial order, they're giving you a free glucometer meter, Lancet strips on them, and it's delivered to you with no shipping costs. Just be a member, myvirtualdocs.com. We also want to thank, again, Tax Doctor, who is always helping folks out. And don't forget veteran card donation. Now, let's talk about it. Chef Curry, we say Magic. Magic or Steph? Magic or Steph? Someone's like, to be or not to be, right? Well, who's the greatest point guard of all time? What defines a point guard? Is it sharing the ball, making other people better around you? Is it taking over the game and helping your team be better? I think the definitions and what it could mean is beauty in the eye of the beholder. But I wanted to play you a video, and Steph Curry has already chimed in on this, and I thought it was interesting that one of the things I've kind of noticed with this particular generation, they are not shy about saying who they are and what they feel. And you really, I guess people would say, well, Muhammad Ali did that years and years ago, you know, and he did that before I was even born. So I must be the greatest. But that's an individual sport that doesn't require other people around you to help you get to the goal of being a champion. You still need the other four guys on that court and a team that helps you get ready. When it comes to somebody saying I'm the greatest in an individual sport like boxing, right? Or golf or tennis, to me, it's a little bit more valid because you could show it, right? You know, the argument in tennis is, well, Serena Williams is the greatest female tennis player of all time. I don't think there's an argument there. She may be the greatest tennis player of all time. However, I think that when you look at on the male side, you have to look at Roger Federer, Djokovic. There's some other guys that were before Pete Sampras and things of that nature. But it's getting, you know, that GOAT argument probably has a handful of guys that could say that on the male side. Now, when you think of golf, you think of the greatest of all time. There's probably a couple of that come to mind, and after that, there's really no argument. That's going to be Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. You know, there's some Ben Hogans of the world and some of those guys, and Arnold Palmer, but I think many people felt like Jack Nicklaus was the GOAT. And then Tiger Woods came along and kind of revolutionized the game. And in his heyday, he was must-see TV, right? Well, in basketball, what we've seen lately is people proclaiming things. And it kind of started with LeBron James back when they won the championship after Kyrie hit the big shot and averaged 27 himself. And LeBron, who did have a really good series against the Golden State Warriors, who had won 73 games that season. But there were some factors that took place that kept Golden State from being as great as they probably could have been. When they were up 3-1, obviously Draymond Green gets suspended, a thing that LeBron actually instigated and he actually kind of started, to be honest. And Draymond Green kind of just took the bait. Kudos to LeBron to get him out of there. But Steph Curry was obviously injured in that series. He was playing sort of on one leg. He had gotten hurt earlier in the playoffs and wasn't his normal self. However, they didn't get the job done. And I think they lost Andrew Bogut in the interior. Andre Iguodala missed a lot of time in that playoffs. Injuries, different things was happening. So it made it a lot easier, I believe, for Golden State to succumb and lose to Cleveland. But Cleveland also had a great team. I think a lot has not been said about how good Cleveland's team was. And Kevin Love actually came out and said, we were a super team. We were considered a super team. We were considered that. And so a lot of that gets missed by the media who report things a certain way. But they was considered a super team when they met up. The following season, obviously, Golden State added Kevin Durant, who became the 1B to LeBron's 1A as far as best player in the world, averaged 35, and sweep around my old front door. It was a sweep. Or it was either 4-1 in the first time they played him. And Kevin Durant averaged 35 and was the finals MVP. So it was a little different when now you got a guy that can match up with LeBron. You've got Curry who can now match up with Kyrie. And you've got, in all essential purposes, you've got another big three with Klay Thompson going up against Kevin Love. And then you had a nice bench, and then you have Draymond. So that is what it is. But this conversation about GOAT has now become, I don't want to say it's disrespectful. It can sound like that when you claim you're the greatest of all time, when there's evidence of that not being true. In LeBron's case, he's been fortunate with great health, which gives him great numbers. He's had the ball his whole career, which kudos to him. He was ready to play at an early age. However, this is interesting to me when you look at, who I believe is the real GOAT of basketball. And most people who've seen basketball and seen the impact of Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time in basketball, period. They don't say you're the LeBron James of football when they make comparisons, or you're the LeBron James of hockey or golf or whatever. They say you're the Michael Jordan of that sport because they understand that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. Well, this is what's interesting. So now when you look at the point guard position, Steph Curry did say the argument is him or Magic. So he kind of chimed in and said it's now down to him or Magic is what he believes. So I think there's some truth to that. I don't necessarily argue against it or what Steph is actually saying. I think that there is something there to be said about, whether it's Magic or Steph. I definitely believe he's in the argument. He's in the room for sure. And I was trying to find you guys some stats that just kind of make the Magic and Steph comparison. And I'm looking for it just to kind of see, some of the stats. If I can't find them, I'm not going to worry about it. But there was some stats that I had seen earlier about, obviously, Magic Johnson is a five-time he's a five-time NBA champion. Steph Curry has won 4. When you look at, obviously, Magic is in the Hall of Fame. Steph is still playing, but he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Magic has made 9 first-team All-NBAs. Steph Curry 4. Magic has been All-NBA 10 times. Steph Curry 9. Magic has 3 MVPs, regular season MVPs. Steph Curry has 2. Magic has 3 finals MVPs. Steph Curry has 1. Magic has 12 All-Star appearances. Steph Curry has 9. So Steph is going to eclipse Magic in points. Magic averaged 19.5 over 906 games played. Steph Curry has that 24.6. Magic obviously is a bigger guy, so he's got more way on in terms of rebounds. He averaged 7.2 rebounds a game to Steph Curry's respectable 4.7. Magic averaged 11.2 assists a game to Steph's 6.5. Magic even averaged 1.9 steals to Steph Curry's 1.6. Now, Magic shoots the ball closer to the basket, so field goal percentages. This is the argument when people don't understand basketball when they say, well, look at LeBron's field goal percentage or someone like LeBron. Well, when you shoot closer to the basket, of course, your percentage will be higher. So would anybody argue that Magic Johnson is a better shooter than Steph Curry? Because Magic Johnson shoots 52% from the field, Steph Curry essentially 48%. We know Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that's played. Magic is a 30% three-point shooter. Steph Curry has averaged almost 43% for his career. We also know that Magic was an 85% free throw shooter. Steph Curry at almost 91%. So these are just some numbers. It's a VORP. I guess this is value over replacement. Magic at 80, Steph Curry at 65.6. The numbers say Magic. Let's hear what the greatest of all time had to say after Stephen A. Smith kind of made a comment about he believes that it was Steph Curry now is the greatest of all time. And Michael Jordan says, whoa, man. Hold up a second, bro. Not so fast. So according to Stephen A. Smith, Michael Jordan, he's always names dropping, but Michael Jordan sent him a text and said, hold up, man. Let me correct you for a second. So
you a text that I received this morning at 5:54 a.m. Good morning, sir. Although greatest of anything is always a debate, I beg to differ on greatest point guard of all time with what you said. Magic Johnson is easily the best point guard of all time. Steph Curry is very close, but not in front of Magic. You must define point guard to really have a serious debate. Steph Curry is by far the best shooter of all time. Yes, his movement has created many shots for his teammates. He's a career 43% three-point shooter. But Magic Johnson invented the triple-double. Not true invented, but makes it more noticeable in terms of the impact on the game. It's a point guard stat, to be honest. Magic was the best. We can go on, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you get the point. By the way, Magic has 5 NBA championships.
Wow.
That quote this morning at 5:45 was from Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Wow. How about that?
And he asked me,
wow.
He asked me to read it on the air. He said, I'm not backing up for it. He said, I'm tired of this argument about Magic Johnson not being the best point guard in the history of the game. He is the best point guard in the history of basketball. That is from Michael Jordan.
From Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT, has spoken. Nothing else needs to be said. And nothing else needs to be said. Michael has spoken. It's it. The greatest player at the point guard position of all times is Irving Magic Johnson. We're going to take a we're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll be right back to give you more of what you need.
Is the cost of your meds giving you a headache? Prescription prices can vary significantly between pharmacies, but now you can save up to 80%. Simply download the RX Heroes mobile app, click Join Now to register, and then enter the promo code FOX to receive an additional 500 points just for signing up. RX Heroes offers rewards for shopping at your favorite retailers. Join the millions who save on their prescriptions. Download RX Heroes today on Apple App Store and Google Play.
Who doesn't want affordable, comprehensive health care from big carriers such as Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield and Cigna with no deductibles? With CAG Health, that's exactly what you get, and so much more. Not only will you spend less for your health care, but you'll also have options for unlimited 24/7 virtual urgent care and 24/7 online therapy, thanks to My Virtual Docs. CAG Health also offers the RX Heroes discount card, which can save up to 80% on brand medications and gives you cashback rewards. Plus, with the Burn Wellness app, you can earn cashback while you burn calories. Take charge of your healthcare today with CAG Health and My Virtual Docs. For special exclusive savings, go online to espnclt.com. That's espnclt.com. And use the promo code ESPN730. That's promo code ESPN730.
What is your plan for your beneficiaries to manage your final expenses when you pass away? Life insurance, annuities, bank accounts, investment accounts all require a death certificate, which takes 10 days based on the national average, which means no money is immediately available, and this causes stress and arguments. Simple solution: the Big Wealth Partners Beneficiary Liquidity Plan. Use money you already have. No need to come up with additional funds. The funds grow tax-deferred and pass tax-free to your named beneficiaries. The death benefit is paid out in 24 to 48 hours without a death certificate. You heard me right, without a death certificate. Call Fig Wealth Partners at 1-800-306-5086. That's 1-800-306-5086. Or reach us online at figwealthpartners.com.
And we're back. Sports Bucks with Speed. Yes, sir. Irving Magic Johnson. Best point guard I've ever seen. Best rookie performance you'll ever see in an NBA Finals was by the legendary Irving Magic Johnson. What a career, what an entrepreneur, and what a success story in spite of the huge scare that he had with HIV. Magic is prospering in life, obviously, and now a minority owner of the Washington Commanders, which they got to do something about their name. And so we'll see about that. But I want to get into a little bit of I guess this is a little bit of I don't know if I want to call it flag on the play or something else. I'm not really sure, but I'll say, is this more of a I would say is this fair or foul? Is this fair or foul? And what I'm talking about here is ESPN analyst Ryan Clark, who Ryan has a lot to say, and I like some of the things that Ryan has to say, but he kind of was talking about Tua Tagovailoa, who is the starting quarterback, obviously, of the Miami Dolphins, and he talked about it. I guess it appears that Tua has not come into camp in the greatest shape, according to Ryan Clark. And so Tua, now is this fair or foul? But Tua is telling you, listen, man, there's certain things you don't say, certain things you might want to essentially keep my name out your mouth. So I thought this was interesting because you rarely hear Tua get any kind of riled or anything of that nature. And you know he's a competitive guy. He's a professional athlete. He's a starting quarterback of an NBA franchise. But I thought this was interesting to hear from Tua regarding what Ryan Clark had to say. Let's check this out. Let's try this again because these videos sometimes don't do what we need them to do. So we'll start over with this video. But I thought, and you guys are obviously going to be listening to it. Well, let's see if we can play this again.
I don't know. It's a little weird when other people are talking about other people when they're not that person. So I don't know, it's just a little weird. I come back. I like my background is like I come from a Samoan family. Like respect is everything, but you know, it does get to a point where, hey, you know, little easy on that, buddy, because you know I think we're pretty tough-minded people, and if we need to get scrappy, we can get scrappy too. Just saying.
So Tua was responding to the comments made by Ryan Clark about Tua's apparent lack of what Ryan sees as being in tip-top shape. And so Ryan made an observation. Tua didn't like it. And he mentioned about if we need to get scrappy, we get scrappy. So I don't, you know, that where I'm from, that sounds like, you know, they want to move some furniture around, right? And Tua is saying he has no problem if he needs to do that. You know, Ryan, I know, is doing a lot with studying a lot of the mixed martial artists. He likes to go to a lot of those events. And Tua, let's just hope that calmer heads will prevail, or if they need to work it out, you know, a friendly exhibition, sparring match wouldn't bother me at all. So we'll see about that. Now, is that fair or foul by Ryan Clark? Is it fair or is it foul for him to criticize Tua Tagovailoa? And I'm going to say it's fair, you know, because his job is to critique people. And if it looks like you're not coming in tip-top shape to be able to play this game, then I should be able to critique you and say what I see from the condition that you appear to be in. We're in a very sensitive society, as I've said before, where it's you just can't say anything about anybody, or they feel like you're hating, or it's you're just overly criticizing them, and you're just kind of pointing out what he sees. So I think it's fair that what Ryan has stated, and so I think Tua, hey man, get over it or work harder, and so that people can't say certain things. So we're going to take another quick commercial break. We're going to come back with a little bit of Coach's Corner. I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of doing a Roth conversion for those folks who are listening and want to talk about the money aspect of sports books with Steve. Is we want to talk about, and I'm the retirement wealth coach, as you guys know, certified financial fiduciary, MBA, and a few other letters and designations and awards that I've won. But it's all about helping people who want to be helped, you know, and that's what it comes down to. So we'll be right back. But this is going to be sponsored by the Super Roth, thesuperroth.com. We'll be right back after this commercial breaks.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. That's 800-663-5107.
Erectile dysfunction. This could be the same issue that so many men like you face. The good news is that there's a treatment for that. It's the little blue pill. The bad news is that the little blue pill is expensive. Here at Steel Man Pills, we now have an affordable alternative to the little blue pill, and it's available right now for as little as $3 a pill. Call Steel Man Pills at the number on your screen right now.
Pill. That number was 866-294-7870. One more commercial, because I want you to hear from the Super
It's a bird!
It's a plane!
No, it's Super Roth! Okay, a gimmicky opening for a commercial about Super Roth Universal Life Insurance, but I'm sure it got your attention. Now, what is a Super Roth, you ask? It's a permanent indexed universal life insurance that's totally liquid and easily accessible once it matures. Can be used to supplement retirement savings or a death benefit, or both. Has no income or contribution limit. Has no 5-year rule like Roth IRAs. Has no 10% penalty for accessing the funds before age 59 and a half. Oh, and the average historical returns are 5 to 7% annually, tax-free. Super Roths also lock in gains, which means you don't lose your money when the market is down. Sounds incredible, right? Sounds super? Super Roths are the way of the future, specifically your future. To see if you qualify for a Super Roth, go online to thesuperroth.com.
SuperRoth.com. As we talking, we're back with Sports Bucks with Steve. As we said, the Super Roth is the sponsor for Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner. And I want to talk a little bit about what the benefits are of a Roth conversion. The benefits of a Roth conversion. The benefits of it. And let's go right into the videotape, so to speak. Let's look at what the benefits of doing a Roth IRA conversion early in retirement. I saw this article, I think it was on Kiplinger.com. I thought it was an interesting article. And what it talks about is retirees could cut their lifetime burdens as well as minimize taxes, the taxes impact on their long-term wealth for their heirs. So you have obviously traditional IRA, which is done pre-tax, and depending on your age, you can put away $6,500 or you can put away $7,500 a year if you're over 50. That same contribution is allowable in a Roth IRA, but it's a maximum. So you can do of $7,500 if you're over 50, or in either one of them. That's the total that you can put away. The difference in the Roth, obviously, is Roth is post-tax. So it can grow completely tax-free. Of course, there's a 5-year rule with the Roth IRA that you must have it for 5 years, no matter when you started. You still have to be adhered to the 10% penalty that can happen if you try to access the money before 59 and a half. But if you maintain the 5-year rule on the Roth IRA, the entire thing can be completely tax-free. Now, there's issues with limitations in terms of what you can contribute to a Roth. If you make, more than $140,000 a year as a single individual, or I think it's a little over 200 and something thousand as a married couple filing jointly, you can no longer continue to contribute. You're essentially phased out of a Roth. Well, there's another issue that people are not aware of, and I've been dealing with some clients lately that this has come about. If you are married and you file jointly, or separately, I should say, head of household, but separately, you cannot make more than $10,000 a year, or you can't use a Roth IRA. So this is why a lot of folks are looking at the Super Roth, because it doesn't have any of these income limitations. It doesn't have any contribution limitations. You can put as much money that legally you can afford to put in, and it has the opportunity to grow tax-free, wrapped with a bonus called life insurance, whether it's an IUL, Index Universal Life Policy, or a permanent cash value policy. We can show you how to do this. But I want to talk a little bit about this conversion. So here's the thing. So often when we work with clients who are nearing retirement, one thing is clear from when we look at their balance sheet and we do a fact finding, get all that information, is that the forced saving mechanisms of their workplace retirement plan, which is just said again, they force you into, if you're going to take the free money, you take the free money, but that's the only thing they tend to have available is that 401k plan, which allows them to accumulate, significant amounts of money in relation to their other savings. While technically they're doing the right thing over many decades, it's important to highlight some possible issues on the horizon. So one of the issues is large retirement accounts balances may equal large tax bills in the future. So the money that was contributed, as I've said before, was pre-taxed. So you've never paid tax on that money. So if you've accumulated $500,000, $250,000 or more in this particular account and you've never paid taxes, what you have to understand is that we have a deficit and we have a tax law that's getting ready to sunset in 2025. It's going to be over. So now we may go back to some of the largest tax rates and heights we've ever seen. So some folks are coming to us because they want to do this tax conversion now because they don't know what the future taxes are going to be. And that's a real good reason why to do that. So when you look at the money that you're contributing, which is obviously pre-tax, it grows, it compounds in an environment with no tax drag. But as I said before, do you expect taxes to go down in the future years or go up? What do you think the government's going to do? How do you think they're going to fund all of these different things they got going on? All of the money that's going to various different places. Where are you going to get that money from? How are they going to continue to fund Social Security or Medicare, which has some issues that they could run into? Well, I can tell you where. They're going to look at your pre-taxed accounts, 401ks, and start requiring you to spend a lot more money, or when you do touch the money, it's going to be taxed at a new rate. So many retirees falsely assume their days of being in a high income tax bracket may be behind them, but you have to remember there's requirement minimum distributions, which they call RMDs, that you will have to realize a certain amount of ordinary income from the IRA annually. And this is also coupled with Social Security, pensions, and any other income that can be put back into a similar high tax bracket as when they were still working. So all those things now get accounted for. It can raise your tax bracket. So when you consider converting retirement assets to a Roth IRA, many retirees can benefit from considering converting some of their retirement assets into a Roth IRA in the early years of retirement. Because here's what I said before. We talked about it earlier. The Roth IRA differs from the traditional tax-deferred IRA is that it is an after-tax account. So all the tax was paid before the contributions were made. So any distributions taken out are tax-free, as long as you adhere to that 5-year rule and you're over 59 and a half. And so because of this, the government has no required distribution. There's no RMDs at this point. So the funds can stay in the account and continue to grow over time. This also means there will be less required taxable income. A Roth conversion has the impact of realizing ordinary income as the funds are withdrawn from the traditional IRA initially. So this isn't a slam dunk for everyone because it's going to put you in a higher tax bracket that particular year. But in years when the income is low, you can do that and you're retired and there's no RMDs or Social Security yet. A certain amount of conversion can be executed actually fairly cheaply when your tax bracket is actually lower. So lastly, one of the key elements here is whether the resulting tax bill can be funded from existing after-tax assets. If the Roth conversion tax needs to be satisfied from the amount converted, then it takes a lot longer for the effort to break even. So even as we're investing less into the Roth account to compound tax-free. So couple of key things here, and I'll stop at this. Recent legislation changes have steadily delayed RMDs to age 73 and eventually to age 75. It may seem counterintuitive to applaud this change, while simultaneously advocating for clients to take assets out of their tax-deferred IRA before they're required to. However, the key element here is flexibility. Being able to control the timing and the amount of the distribution or conversion can greatly assist with managing the lifetime tax bill. So aside from the minimum required distributions during your own lifetime, another advantage of the Roth IRA is from an estate planning perspective. So under recent legislation, the non-spousal beneficiary of an IRA is required to distribute the entire account within a 10-year frame. So many of us could be in our peak earning years at the time our parents pass away. And so we're already in high tax brackets. So now you're inheriting this money and it seems like found money, and then quite opposite. It's actually an inefficient from a tax perspective. So you have to pay all these taxes. But if this money had been converted to a Roth, which you have no such requirements and the taxes have already been paid. So just think a little bit about the flexibility of converting a Roth IRA. And if you need some questions, and we have some systems in place where we can also help you with a tax acuity software that helps you sort of narrow it down almost to the dime and to the penny, what your tax ramifications would be. So get at us with that. Also, please don't forget, we also have an estate planning software that now allows people to be able to get your estate plans in order, like your wills and trust, that we can help you with. It's backed by attorneys that's already done it. So save you a little bit of money on all that, those types of things as well. So don't forget to get in contact with us at figwealthpartners.com. And please don't forget the superroth.com, the superroth.com. This has been sponsored by the Super Roth. And please don't forget, if you have an IRA and you're looking to do any kind of conversion, or you have a 401k, I should say, and you're looking to possibly roll it over, before you do that, go to 401kmistake.com. That's 401kmistake.com. Before you roll over that money, make sure you have the right information. So that's 401kmistake.com. We'll take our last commercial and then we'll come back with a few final thoughts. Again, here we go with the Super Roth.
It's a bird!
It's a plane!
No, it's Super Roth!
Okay, a gimmicky opening for a commercial about Super Roth Universal Life Insurance, but I'm sure it got your attention. Now, what is a Super Roth, you ask? It's a permanent indexed universal life insurance that's totally liquid and easily accessible once it matures. Can be used to supplement retirement savings or a death benefit, or both. Has no income or contribution limit. Has no 5-year rule like Roth IRAs. Has no 10% penalty for accessing the funds before age 59 and a half. Oh, and the average historical returns are 5 to 7% annually. Tax-free. Super Roths also lock in gains, which means you don't lose your money when the market is down. Sounds incredible, right? Sounds super? Super Roths are the way of the future, specifically your future. To see if you qualify for a Super Roth, go online to thesuperroth.com.
To the superroth.com. Listen, as we get ready to start taking home this ship, we once again thank all of our sponsors. The superroth.com. That's the Superroth, thesuperroth.com. We also want to thank Tax Doctor, RX Heroes, My Virtual Docs, Low Cost Airlines, Veteran Car Donations, and there's more coming. So we appreciate you guys. Once again, please like and subscribe to our Facebook page on Facebook, Sports Bucks with Steve. But also, please like and subscribe to Sports Bucks on YouTube. Sports Bucks, different show that comes on. We typically air that show every Friday or so at 1 o'clock, but you can always go and check out previous shows on Sportsbook. There's probably like almost 40 shows that we have on there. So check it out. Give yourself like a binge watch, and where you can check out Sportsbucks with Steve, and you actually get to see my pretty face, so to speak. Well, once again, we want to thank all of our people that listen. This is Sportsbucks with Steve, and I'm going to say until next week, God bless. I'll see you later. You have a safe one. And embrace a loved one today. I want to say happy birthday before I get out of here. Happy belated birthday to my dad, who is now 83 years young, and my beautiful eldest daughter, who is now 21 years of age. So happy birthday, Mia. Happy birthday, Dad. We celebrated in style. They both got new vehicles. So very exciting time. So we'll see you guys next week.